Have you ever felt something shift inside you for no clear reason, like a sudden heaviness that didn't belong to your moment? As if out of nowhere, someone's presence crossed your mind with a force you couldn't ignore. What if that feeling wasn't random at all, but a silent signal reaching you from someone who can't let go? Right now, at this very moment, there may be a connection pulling at you, one you were never meant to forget. There is a reason you stopped here, right at this moment. Something within you chose these words instead of moving on, even if you can't fully explain why. A deeper part of you recognized that you needed to hear this. What you've been feeling lately hasn't been random, and it's not something you imagined. A shift has already happened, and your body picked up on it before your mind could make sense of it. Yesterday carried a strange kind of weight. It may have come out of nowhere, a pressure you couldn't quite name or understand, but that feeling didn't belong to you alone. At that same time, someone else reached an emotional breaking point, and when their inner world started to unravel, that intensity echoed outward, and somehow it reached you. This isn't about coincidence or overthinking. It's about a connection that was never truly gone, just stretched thin over time. And yesterday, that connection pulled tight enough for you to feel it. The reason you're here now is not accidental. Your intuition guided you because somewhere deep inside, you already know something shifted. Think about yesterday. Maybe you felt a sudden heaviness, a wave of unease that didn't match your situation. You could have been doing something completely normal, talking, scrolling, resting, when that hollow feeling settled into your chest. It didn't make sense, and yet it felt real. That's because it wasn't entirely yours. That discomfort was like a reflection of someone else's emotional collapse reaching you across distance. And this person isn't just slightly sad or missing you in a simple way. Their emotional state has been shaken deeply. Yesterday, they felt you more strongly than they have in a long time, stronger than at any point since the distance between you began. You need to understand something important. Real connections between people don't follow the limits of physical space or communication. When a bond goes deep enough, it doesn't disappear just because you're apart. It moves beneath the surface, like currents that stay connected even when they can't be seen. When one side becomes overwhelmed, the other can feel that pressure without knowing why. That restless feeling you had, the urge to check your phone again and again, the expectation of a message that never came, or waking up suddenly with their name in your mind, those weren't random moments. They were signals. Something inside them broke open. For a long time, this person tried to create emotional distance. They convinced themselves they could move forward without you, that cutting the connection was possible, that forgetting you was realistic. They built a wall to protect themselves. But yesterday, that wall couldn't hold anymore. Everything they had been holding back, the words they never said, the feelings they kept buried, rose all at once. The pressure became too much, and when it finally released, it was so intense that it reached you. You felt it, even if you didn't understand it at the time. Your logical mind probably tried to explain it away. Maybe you told yourself it was stress, exhaustion, or just your thoughts playing tricks on you. But there's a part of you that knows the difference between your own emotions and something that feels foreign, something that arrives without cause. What you felt wasn't random. It was like a quiet signal, almost like a silent call for help. In their loneliness, they were forced to face the truth of life without you, and that realization hit them harder than they expected. Distractions stopped working. Noise couldn't cover the silence anymore. Nothing filled the space you once occupied. They are now moving through a heavy emotional phase, a kind of inner darkness where everything feels uncertain and overwhelming. And in that darkness, the only light they can clearly recognize is the one you once brought into their life. Even if pride or fear is stopping them from reaching out directly, something deeper within them already has. Yesterday, their inner self reached for you with urgency. That's why you may have felt watched, called, or strangely connected, like someone was speaking into emptiness. And somehow, you were the only one who could hear it. This didn't happen randomly or without reason. Something shifted beneath the surface. There is always an unseen process behind moments like this. Something moving quietly until it reaches a breaking point. Have you noticed how your thoughts about them suddenly became stronger, more vivid, almost as if they were close to you? That intensity is tied to what they experienced. This moment was a peak for them. Imagine they had been storing everything, every memory, every suppressed feeling, every urge to reach out, in an invisible container. Every time they ignored their emotions, every time they forced themselves to stay distant, that container filled a little more. Yesterday, it overflowed. Holding on to an emotional lie requires a huge amount of energy. Pretending that someone who truly matters doesn't matter is exhausting. And eventually, that kind of resistance collapses. Yesterday, they couldn't carry it anymore. At the same time, something may have shifted within you too. Maybe without realizing it, you loosened your emotional grip. Maybe you focused more on yourself, stopped waiting, stopped sending that constant energy in their direction. And when you pulled back, even slightly, it created space. In the emotional world, space doesn't stay empty. It demands to be filled. When your presence faded, they felt the full weight of your absence. As long as you were emotionally holding on, they felt a quiet sense of safety. They believed on some level that you were still there, still accessible in an unseen way. That belief allowed them to remain distant and guarded. But the moment that feeling weakened, something inside them reacted. Deep down, they felt what they had been avoiding all along, that they might truly be losing you. And that realization shook them in a way they could no longer ignore. That fear didn't show up as a clear thought they could explain. It came through their body first, a tight feeling in the chest, a heaviness they couldn't shake, a sense that something around them had shifted without warning. They might have been in the middle of a normal day, surrounded by people or even trying to connect with someone else, when suddenly everything started to feel off. Conversations lost their meaning. Laughter didn't feel genuine. Even small noises began to irritate them. Their mind kept comparing everything to you. No one understands me like that. No one sees me the same way. No one feels like that. These thoughts repeated quietly, over and over, and no matter how much they tried to focus on something else, your presence stayed in their mind. What they're experiencing can look like anxiety without a clear cause. From the outside, everything in their life may appear fine: work, health, daily routine, but internally something feels deeply wrong. There's a growing awareness that time is slipping away, and that their pride has cost them more than they expected. They likely picked up their phone, typed messages they never sent, checked your profile, not out of simple curiosity, but because they needed to feel some connection to you. Yesterday, that feeling intensified because their emotional defenses were no longer holding. When the mind gets tired of resisting, something deeper takes control. And that deeper part doesn't care about pride or fear. It only wants to return to what feels safe, what feels like home. And to them, you represent that home. The strength of those emotions brought confusion and regret. They began questioning their decisions, wondering why they created distance, why they stayed silent, why they let things drift the way they did. Guilt and regret are not light emotions. They carry weight, and right now they are carrying all of it. When it's said that they are not okay, it's not an exaggeration. It reflects exactly where they are inside. They are caught in a painful space between wanting and fearing. They want to reach out, but something stops them. They miss you, but they doubt how they would be received. They feel the urge to speak, yet the fear of rejection keeps them quiet. This inner struggle creates a strong emotional current, and that energy has been directed toward you. That's why you felt unsettled. You weren't just imagining it. You were picking up on the impact of what they were going through. They may have tried to distract themselves, to stay busy, or to sleep through it. But emotions don't disappear like that. They move, they shift, they find a way to be felt. And yesterday, that wave became too strong to contain. They are beginning to realize something they tried to avoid, that you are deeply woven into their life in a way that cannot simply be erased. Your presence left something lasting, something real. And for someone who avoids facing their own emotions, that realization is overwhelming. The anxiety they felt came from recognizing a mistake without knowing how to fix it. That emotional weight didn't stay only in their thoughts. Their body responded as well. Missing someone is not just a feeling, it becomes physical. Yesterday, that physical response became stronger than usual. Their body reacted to a truth they could no longer deny, and now it's starting to affect how they function. They feel restless, distracted, emotionally flooded, as the reality of losing you becomes more real to them. If you could see them in private moments, you would notice clear signs of how deeply this has affected them. Without even realizing it, they are no longer fully in control of their reactions. This connection doesn't stay only in thoughts or feelings. It shows up physically. Their body is reacting in ways their logical mind cannot manage or explain. The human body is sensitive to what the heart tries to hide. When emotions are buried for too long and something deeper begins to surface, the body always responds. What they are feeling now is not simple missing. It's a deep physical response to your absence. Their system is reacting as if something essential has been taken away. They are not just thinking about you. Their entire being is showing signs of loss. The emotional distance they tried to maintain is starting to break down, not just mentally, but physically. This leaves them confused and even frustrated, because on the surface they believe they should be fine, that they should be moving forward. But their body is telling a completely different story. One of the clearest sensations they may be experiencing is a pressure in the center of their chest. It's not sharp pain, and it's not something easy to explain medically. It feels more like tightness, like something pressing inward, or like the air around them has become thinner, even though they are breathing normally. This feeling carries everything they never expressed, the words they held back, the emotions they tried to ignore. It's love that had no place to go, and now it's rising all at once. Yesterday, that pressure likely became stronger. There may have been a moment where they paused without understanding why, took a deep breath, or placed a hand on their chest as if trying to steady something inside. What they felt wasn't physical weight, it was emotional weight. A deep awareness that they are far from where they truly feel they belong. Their body recognizes this distance, even if their mind resists it. Along with this comes restless sleep. You may recognize this feeling yourself. Waking up at odd hours, feeling unsettled without a clear reason, turning from one side to the other, trying to find comfort. Their sleep is light, broken, never fully restful. They may fall asleep out of exhaustion, but their body doesn't relax. There's a strong chance they woke up suddenly in the early hours, sometime between 3 and 4 in the morning. It might have felt like a shift in the room, or like something pulled them awake. In those quiet moments when distractions disappear, their thoughts go straight to you. Not by choice. It just happens. They lie there, trying to get comfortable. But the space around them feels filled with memories. The bed no longer feels neutral. It carries what once was and what could have been. This kind of awakening is the body responding either to your energy or to the emptiness left behind when your presence pulled away. In the silence, your presence feels strongest. Another clear sign is a deep exhaustion that doesn't go away no matter how much they rest. This is not normal tiredness. It's a heavy fatigue that makes even simple things feel difficult. Walking, talking, completing small tasks, all of it takes more effort than usual. This comes from the constant inner conflict they are dealing with. Imagine the energy it takes to keep convincing yourself that someone important no longer matters. Imagine trying to act normal while denying what your heart keeps insisting is true. The mind says no, but the heart keeps saying yes. That kind of tension drains a person. It leaves them feeling empty, disconnected, and unmotivated. Even the people around them may start noticing a change. There's something different in their energy. Their eyes don't carry the same light. The spark they once had feels dimmer. The energy they used to have, which was strengthened by your presence, now feels distant, and they don't know how to replace it. Their appetite may also be affected. The body often reacts strongly to emotional stress, especially when it comes to separation. They might feel a tightness in their stomach that makes eating feel uncomfortable, or they may eat without satisfaction, trying to fill something that food cannot reach. Yesterday, even things they normally enjoy likely felt dull. This happens because their sense of joy is connected to you. When that connection feels absent, the body loses interest in simple pleasures. It's a form of grief their system is processing, even if they don't consciously label it that way. Their senses may even start playing tricks on them. They might think they saw you in a crowd or felt certain they heard your voice somewhere. A familiar scent might suddenly remind them of you and bring back a wave of emotion. Even in places where it would be impossible for you to be, their mind keeps searching for signs of you. They might turn their head quickly, convinced for a moment that you are there. And when they realize you're not, the emptiness feels even heavier. Their body is searching for you instinctively, like something essential is missing. This isn't imagination. It follows a natural pattern of how people respond to deep emotional bonds. And when you begin to understand this, something inside you starts to settle. Doubt fades. A sense of calm replaces the confusion because you realize that what you felt was real. You begin to understand why they reached that breaking point, even without seeing it. Why you felt it so clearly without any words or contact. And to understand this on a deeper level, it helps to look at the work of Carl Jung, who explored how human minds connect beneath the surface. He believed that at our deepest level, we are not completely separate. What appears divided outwardly is still connected in ways we cannot see, and our inner worlds are part of something much larger than we realize. A vast layer of awareness that exists beneath everything we see. On the surface, it looks like we are separate individuals, each living our own life, but underneath there is a constant exchange happening. This deeper layer has been described by Carl Jung as the collective unconscious. It's like an invisible field that connects everyone, whether we notice it or not. There's no way to turn it on or off. It's always active, always present. Think of it like this. You and that person are like two trees standing far apart. From above, they seem completely separate, each growing in its own direction. But below the ground, their roots spread out and eventually meet. Through those hidden roots, information passes quietly. When one tree goes through stress or change, the other can sense it through that unseen connection. This idea helps explain something you've probably felt but couldn't fully explain. How you can sense someone without seeing them, how moments can align across distance, and why certain feelings appear without a clear cause. It shows that distance doesn't truly erase a bond, and time doesn't weaken something that was deeply real. Within this understanding, there is another concept Jung spoke about called synchronicity. These are not just random coincidences. They are moments when what's happening inside you is reflected in the outside world. When you felt that sudden unease yesterday for no clear reason, or when they came across something that reminded them of you at the exact moment they were trying not to think about you, that wasn't accidental. It was a reflection of what was unfolding in the space between you. Recognizing this changes how you see things. You stop waiting for proof, for messages, or for visible signs to confirm what you already feel inside. You begin to understand that this connection exists beyond words and actions. Yesterday, they felt you with overwhelming intensity because something shifted within that shared space. Thoughts and emotions are not just abstract ideas. They carry energy. In the same way electricity moves through a wire, emotional energy moves through this deeper connection. Whether we are aware of it or not, it travels. When you think of someone with strong emotion, or when you finally release them with genuine acceptance, that energy doesn't stay still, it moves. Something changed in you as well. Maybe you became calmer without realizing it. Maybe you stopped holding on so tightly. Maybe you reached a quiet point of acceptance. Or maybe the energy that had been building between you simply reached its limit. Whatever the cause, the connection became active again. They felt that shift. Not consciously, not in a way they could explain, but at a deeper level. Their inner self picked it up before their mind could block it or make sense of it. What they are experiencing now, the confusion, the emotional discomfort, the sense of being unsettled, is not meaningless. It is part of a deeper process. Strong connections often bring out parts of ourselves we try to avoid. You became a mirror for them. Through you, they saw their fears, their insecurities, their resistance to being vulnerable, and also their ability to feel deeply, something they may have tried to ignore. By creating distance, they believed they were protecting themselves from pain, but in truth, they were trying to escape a part of themselves that only came alive with you. The problem is, what we avoid doesn't disappear, it grows stronger, and what we finally face has the power to change us. Yesterday, avoidance stopped working for them. The emotions they had buried came back to the surface, forcing them to look inward. Through that process, they felt you again. Even without direct contact, your presence has affected them more deeply than they expected. And this doesn't require messages, calls, or physical closeness. At a deeper level, your internal state matters more than anything external. The strongest form of communication often happens in silence. When you are calm, grounded, and clear within yourself, that state carries through the connection. Yesterday, they felt that pull. Despite the distance, your presence became stronger within them, not weaker. From this perspective, there is no need to see this as right or wrong, or to place blame. There are no villains here, just two people experiencing a connection that carries meaning. The discomfort they feel now, the emotional pressure, even the sense of breaking down, is not punishment. It is a sign that something inside them is waking up. Their deeper mind is bringing forward everything they tried to suppress, memories, emotions, and feelings, all to break down the barriers they created. The part of them that wants control resists this process. But the deeper part, the part that seeks truth and connection, keeps pushing forward. That's why the more they try to ignore it, the stronger it becomes. There is a natural balance at work. If they push the thoughts away during the day, those thoughts return at night. If they try to forget you consciously, their deeper mind keeps bringing you back. Understanding this changes something within you. You no longer depend on outside signs to tell you what is real. You begin to trust what you feel internally, and that awareness brings a quiet kind of peace, one that doesn't rely on anything outside of you, but comes from simply knowing. What you're describing feels powerful, but it's important to ground it in how human psychology actually works, rather than assuming a literal emotional signal traveling between two people. The experience itself is real. The sudden heaviness, the intrusive thoughts, the sense of connection. But the explanation is usually internal, not a direct transmission from someone else's mind or body. When a relationship has been intense or meaningful, your brain builds strong emotional and neurological patterns around that person. Over time, those patterns don't just disappear because contact stops. They stay active beneath the surface, and certain triggers, memories, quiet moments, stress, even changes in your routine can activate them suddenly. That's why a feeling can appear out of nowhere. It isn't random. It's just happening below your conscious awareness until it becomes strong enough to notice. Your mind is also very good at attaching meaning after the fact. If you suddenly feel anxious or restless, your brain looks for a reason. If there's someone emotionally significant in your past, it naturally links the feeling to them. This can create the impression that the feeling came from them, when in reality it came from your own stored emotional associations being activated. The physical sensations you described, tightness in the chest, restlessness, waking up at night, loss of appetite, are very common stress and attachment responses. The body doesn't distinguish much between emotional loss and physical threat. It reacts with tension, alertness, and discomfort because, at a biological level, connection equals safety. When that connection feels uncertain or lost, the nervous system reacts. The idea that someone else is simultaneously feeling the same thing or sending energy can feel convincing, especially when timing seems to line up. But this is often a mix of coincidence, selective attention, and emotional projection. You notice the moments that match the story and ignore the many that don't. That doesn't make you irrational, it just means your brain is trying to create a coherent narrative out of complex feelings. Where this becomes important is how it affects your behavior. If you believe every emotional wave is coming from someone else, you give away your sense of control. You start waiting, interpreting, and reacting instead of focusing on your own clarity and choices. A healthier way to look at it is this. The feeling is yours, but it may be connected to something meaningful you experienced with that person. That gives you power instead of taking it away. There is also something true underneath all this that doesn't require mystical explanations. Deep connections do leave lasting impressions. People can shape how you feel, how you think, and how you respond to the world. That influence can resurface unexpectedly, especially when you are processing unresolved emotions or reaching a new stage in your own life. So instead of asking, "Are they feeling this too?" a more useful question is, "What is this feeling showing me about myself right now?" Sometimes it points to unfinished emotional business. Sometimes it reflects loneliness, change, or growth. Sometimes it's simply your mind revisiting something that mattered. You don't need to dismiss the experience, but you also don't need to turn it into something external or supernatural to validate it. The intensity comes from the depth of the connection you once had, combined with how your mind and body process attachment and memory. Understanding that keeps you grounded, while still respecting the fact that what you felt was meaningful. What you felt was never random. It was a quiet reminder that some connections don't break, they simply move beneath the surface. You don't need proof, messages, or explanations to validate what your inner self already understands. What is real will always find a way to be felt, even in silence. And as you stand in your own calm and clarity, you begin to realize that the deepest connections are not chased. They reveal themselves when the time is right.